But now, I think in the UK, we have a chance to rethink what do we mean by responsible technology. How do we make sure that the 50% of people that think technology helps them every day is actually 95%, and that the 12% of people that think technology is harming society, is good for society, is actually 95%? Well, I think this is beginning to happen because the moment feels quite powerful. There are a number of factors that are coming together. And at .everyone, we're trying to look at a kind of systems approach to how do we make technology feel more responsible. And that is about the three parts of the pie that society is made up of. Firstly, we do probably need better regulation, or some regulation, some intervention by government. And our research at .everyone bears that out. 63% of people want the government to regulate around their data. And the good news is that GDPR and some of the changes that are coming will be the first stage of that. However imperfect, at least it's a step forward. Although if I have another GDPR email, when I put my email back on after speaking to you this evening, I'm going to throw my smartphone out of the cab window. But still, we will need better and more regulation. So at .everyone, we're quite focused on helping policymakers understand technology better. Because to me, the gap between people who work in the world of policy, legislation, in Parliament, and the world that we are all working in day by day is far removed from each other. And that gap has to close, because we're going to have regulation, and we must make sure it's the best possible regulation, and that it encourages innovation and puts us in the best possible role for the world going forward. So the government has to play a role in all of this. That's the first part of the systems change in responsible technology. The second part is all of us as individuals. This is something that I've been working on for quite a while, and I feel so strongly about. I did some work for 2 prime ministers about the digital divide in this country, people who have never used technology, and how can we help them use it? Because, surprise, surprise, it's mainly people who have no money, and worst of all, people who have no money and live in the countryside, which, as you may know, is the most poor piece of the puzzle of all, the most vulnerable people. That's not the only groups of people, but generally it tends to be the poorer communities and marginally the older communities. And it really matters. It really matters that 1 million people don't use the internet or cannot use the internet and yet are unemployed, and yet 90% of jobs are only advertised online. That's a pretty hideous number, so you're caught in that trap. So we as individuals have to take more of curiosity and interest in technology. It's not just about that basic digital skills and that basic level of connectivity. You know, people who don't use the internet, that's one category. That's quite an easy one to solve, actually. You just need to help across quite a set of things that you can just tick off on a list. Can they search? Can they use email? Can they complete a transaction safely? So that's more of an easy part of the puzzle. But the piece that's harder, and that I'm particularly interested in, is about digital understanding. How can we make sure that people have the curiosity and the resilience to be able to question the technology, to make sure that they are in control of it, it is not in control of them? You'd be amazed how many people don't know that you can turn off notifications on social media. You'd be amazed how many people I know who don't actually know that it's better to probably leave your smartphone out of your bedroom. It's definitely amazing how many people have absolutely no idea what the transaction between them and a website is. In our research at .everyone, over 80% of people said they didn't understand what the transaction around their data was on the internet and with the services that they were using. Most people still think data is just what they're paying for in their mobile phone package. We must remember that there's still a huge hurdle in bringing people up to understand the internet and the world we live in 2018 to be able to make the most of it.